Hello, my name's Rachel. I'm from Melbourne, Australia. I think the story I have to tell is maybe about an ending of a chapter in my life. So I first came to Rishikesh in 2012, and I came quite lost and quite broken, as I've discovered many people come to Rishikesh with the same feelings. I just ended a long-term relationship and my sister was really unwell. But I also had a lot of opportunities in front of me. I had finished my university degree and I realised I was free. And having the experience in India, I really recognised that I had a personal responsibility to heal myself. So I did yoga and meditation, and I sat and I read and I spoke with people and I asked them questions to learn about their lives and their experiences. But I think overwhelmingly what healed me was my experience in Rishikesh. I first came to Rishikesh. It was my first stop in India, and I remember being overwhelmed in some sense by the cows and the noise and the drive from Delhi to Rishikesh, and all of a sudden I hit the mountains and I saw green. But I felt very comfortable. I think I anticipated the level of chaos, and I walked up and I saw this man, and he had very beautiful, gentle eyes. And for the first time, almost in my life, I felt like I'd been seen. And he smiled at me and he laughed at me in a very affectionate way, and it made me stop and laugh. And I felt, I think I went straight up to my room and wrote in my journal day one of India and described the drive from Delhi to Rishikesh. And I wrote about this man. And then I came down and I spent a little bit of time with him and went and did my own thing. And then went to go stay in an ashram. And after 3 days I broke out of the ashram because I don't like being told what to do. And I came back here to this man's hotel, and because it felt like home already, and I felt like home with him. I had the best day in my whole entire life. I hired someone to take me on their motorbike. We drove up to the mountains. I went to the temples. I came back, and on the way back, my tour guide invited me to a wedding the next day, an Indian wedding. So we went downtown Rishikesh and we bought saris, and I felt beautiful. All these colours and sequins, and I wrapped them around myself, and I remember feeling so free. And I thought, the best thing in the world would be a kiss from this man. And so we had that kiss, and the next day I left and went to Delhi and met my sister, did a 1-month tour around Rajasthan. And then it was the next day I was meant to get on a flight back to Melbourne, and it was also predicted to be the end of the world, the last day, the end of the world, I think, December something 2012. And I thought, I'm not getting on that plane. I know what I need to do, and that is to invest in me and spend some more time with myself. So I went with another friend down to Goa, and it was busy and it was crowded, I didn't feel safe. And so I came back home to Rishikesh and to this man. And from that we had a 1.5-month relationship, and I pretty much lived with him, and I think I fell in love. I didn't think I could accept that at the time. I just thought it was a beautiful experience. And when I said goodbye to him, I remember kneeling down and looking up to him. He said, "Don't cry." And I said, "I'm not crying." I had this huge smile on my face. I said, "Thank you, you've healed me." And he left, and I felt it in my body. I left, and I felt it in my body. I slept in a fetal position, and went to Amritsar, and then he called me as I got on the flight home, and I went back to Australia, then went to New Zealand. We kept in contact a little bit. He had messages saying that he missed me, and I had messages saying to him that I would love to see him again. And I fell in love with a lot of other men. And it was only in I think, during that period, I can't remember when, I was going through my Facebook feed and a post of him came up, and it was him at his wedding. And I remember thinking, oh, not quite sure how I feel about that. And so I put down the screen and I walked away. And I remember him telling me, at the time, we talked about love, we talked about everything, we talked about marriages, and he told me he would have an arranged marriage. And his reasoning behind it was that if he married a girl from the south, she would cook him vegetable curry and rice for dinner, and it couldn't work out because he eats vegetable curry and what are they called? Roti? Naan? Chapati. So it couldn't possibly work out, and I thought, shit, there's absolutely no way we could have a relationship. I'm like a free-spirited, left-wing feminist. Anyway, so I went back later that night to have a look at his photos of his wedding, and they had disappeared, and he had untagged himself from those photos. Skipping forward a lot later, I had moved to New Zealand, got a job as a journalist, decided that I wanted to quit that, and realised that I had some free time and a little bit of money on my hands. It's my 30th birthday coming up, and I decided that I wanted to do yoga in Rishikesh. And it was quite strange as well, because the last time I saw this man, I knew that I would see him again. I told that to him, I will see you again. And I knew that I would also see him just before, around my 30th birthday. But I'd forgotten. So it was only when I was booking my flights that I thought, oh, hang on, wow, something in that. So I told him that I was coming back to India because I wanted a recommendation for a yoga course. But it was quite a distant message. It wasn't a warm anything. And I didn't want him to get the wrong idea that I was coming back for him. So I told him I had a boyfriend, and he didn't tell me about his marriage. But it was, that was months before, just when I booked my flight, and I told him that I was arrive on the 6th of July, and on the 6th of July I get a message saying, "Are you here yet?" I said, yes, I'm here. I'm going to Dharamsala because, that's just who I am, is I do my own thing. So I did that, and I went to Amritsar next, and I was meant to come to Rishikesh. I was planning to come back to the hotel once my friend had arrived, just to have that additional barrier between us. But nothing was like Rishikesh, nothing compared to Rishikesh, and everywhere I went, things just went wrong. And it was a full moon, and all of a sudden I decided that I simply must get to Rishikesh. And so I booked my train ticket and came back to Rishikesh to be in Rishikesh, be around, I don't know, it's his energy, be around his energy. But I decided not to stay in his hotel and not to let him know that I was here. I just wanted to be close, I think. So I get off the train and I'm walking through the streets of Rishikesh. I can't remember where anything is. It's been 4 years, can't remember anything. It's a Shiva festival and there's 1 million people in town. And I know that I need to find a hotel and sort out what I'm going to do. And then all of a sudden I hear Rachael, and it's his best friend who I haven't seen in 4 years and could recognise me from my curly hair. And he picks me up and he's like, time to come home. So he drives me up to this little, I suppose it's this little village, tourist village in Rishikesh in the mountains. And I sit down and I'm so excited to see him, and I keep on poking him going, are you real? He said, yes. And I said, and Nishant, he's on holidays, yeah? Because Nishant was meant to be away. I thought Nishant was meant to be away. This is the man. And that's why I kind of felt more comfortable coming back to Rishikesh. And he said, no, he's up the hill, I'll call him. And that moment when he walked down and I saw him, and I just ran to him and I gave him this huge hug, and I could see his joy in seeing me, and it was just beautiful. And I from seeing him and the way that he looks at me, I know that I was loved. I think I know that. Not anymore though, and I don't think I feel the same towards him as I did, but we had a perfect moment together, and yeah, I feel very happy that I had that. And now I suppose I'm deliberating because I still haven't told him that I know that he's married. And I think I'm very nervous because I would never be close or intimate with a married man, and I don't want to assume at all that he would want something like that. But I am fearful that he thinks me doing that is me being cold towards him and not acknowledging just how important he was and how special he is to me. So this is my secret way of telling him. I hope it gets to him.